Oh shit, here we go again.
Low, low, man. Low, low, man.
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
I read contracts instead of conventional pornography, yes.
Slippery little bastard! Making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew Esquire's Legal Mindset. We teach you, yes, you at home, to be your own judge. We're going at Nintendo. Nintendo Lawfare must be stopped. I'm going hard in the paint because this is bad for Nintendo itself as a company. This is suicidal. It is a literal, and I know people are going to hate me for this, it's a kamikaze for their company. And it destroys the entire pocket monster genre, kills the modding community, destroys patent law. It does so much bad for the world, so much evil in the world, and just digs them in and cements them as the villain that I said, I have to step up today and stop them. And it may turn out that it may be the U.S. government, the DHS, ICE baby, that ends up stopping the Nintendo Lawfare rampage. We're going to get into that today. Of course, I do have a fast facts version. So if you want to catch the quick and dirty version, you can catch that. But by the way, guys, I'm early today. Listen, I got to mix it up for you guys. If I keep starting a little bit later on time, you're not going to be surprised. But you know what? Yesterday and today, I started early. I started very early because I really got to keep you on your toes. You got to be in suspense. Is he going to stream? First of all, you have to ask yourself, am I going to stream today or not? You never really know. You got to keep your eyes out. You got to keep your eyes peeled. Keep those notifications on. Make sure the bell is on. But beyond that, is he going to start the stream time? Is it going to be pushed back? Is it going to move? You got to be in suspense. You got to take bets. Now, I cannot condone betting. Of course, that might be illegal gambling where you are, but please check your local restrictions as to whether or not you can bet whether your favorite streamer is going to scuff it or be late or early. I would never encourage you to illegally gamble. However, if it is legal, you might want to bet on whether or not Legal Mindset is going to start early or not. I don't know. The market could go anywhere, right? Sometimes the long shot comes in. Sometimes that 20-to-1 horse, that 40-to-1 horse, the 100-to-1 horse comes in. And I'm not talking about horse girls because this is not a Tectone stream. This is not a Tectone stream. I know that some of you are here from Tectone. It is not a Tectone stream. But I'm glad to be here for you guys. This is a fun one. It's fun and not fun because really I hate that I have to dunk on Nintendo this much. I used to love Nintendo, but we've got to do this. We've got to do this. We've got to, bring it up and take them down. But shout out to everybody here. We got 609 in the house, and I'm going to share some memes with you. Thank you to my locals community, which is definitely come up with some good memes today. And we'll start with a little bit of memes to kind of, break into the house here. But we'll also get the super chats. Stingy, as a man of culture and a man who loves Evangelion. Thank you. Mindset Legal and Don P putting the Lord's work. I'm glad there's people of culture that get the thumbnail reference today. Now, I cannot watch that video at any point at all. My channel will be tossed into the sun and the YouTube algorithm will yeet me out and community warning me. But somehow, I think it's due to his creative use of AI or whatever it is, his videos slip through the algorithm. But that little screenshot was so good, and he's really pushing the bounds of what AI can do. That screenshot was so good, I had to use it for the thumbnail. Don't strike me, brother. Actually, we're friends. We talk behind the scenes. Don't strike me, brother. This is fair use. This is fair use, guys. This is totally fair use. Let's see. Cole Jack for 5 says, after the Palfarm trailer, yes, we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to play the trailer, but we're going to talk about Palfarm. It's part of my presentation. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo tries to patent photosynthesis. They're trying to patent everything, guys. I'm going to talk about it today. They're literally trying to patent. This is what they patent in the United States. They managed, and I missed this. They literally snuck in a US patent for the act of summoning a sub character. Let me make this clear. Summoning a sub character, not just something in a ball, not just summoning a sub character. So at all, if you have any game in which your character makes another character appear, they've got that. They take that whole genre, the entire genre. That's insane. And the fact that that was allowed to slide, and now once again, we're going to talk about the legality of that. I think if a court challenges it, that may be tossed out, that may be tossed in the garbage. They definitely don't want a court to look at that. But if they don't want a court to look at it, maybe they should stop being such a-holes. And I'll put one in the swear jar for that one, because Nintendo today deserves the swear jar. The swear jar deserves to be filled up. But so I make sure I make it past, the mandatory contribution to the swear jar. Please make sure you like the video. And if you could donate, joining as a member, always appreciated. Love you guys. Savage Sweetheart said, I play Pal World, and any pal that looks like a Pokemon, I name it that Pokemon. And you know what? That's just what people are going to do to get back at Nintendo, right? They're like, hey, Nintendo, here you go. We're going to do this. We don't care. Festivus is going to see that Nintussi in court. Oh, okay.
No. Wait.
Angel Dennis, I keep him from Vices, RIP. Shout out to my good friend Jeff Harrison. Legal Vices, man, I miss him every day. He was my expat mentor, a great friend. And honestly, even though he was a smaller channel than me on YouTube, he knew how to handle YouTube stuff, particularly YouTube creator drama, even better than I did at the time. And I took a lot of lessons from Jeff Harrison about how to be calm and how to focus on the law, focus on your show, focus on being the best, and don't get dragged into drama. So I make a very good point of not doing that, and that's from Jeff. So shout out to everybody who comes over from that. He's obviously a great friend, and a friend you have once, even if you're lost, even if they pass away, they're a friend forever. They're with you forever. Jack Choi for 5 says, Department of Homeland Security's X account with the Pokemon parody. Oh, that's most of what we're talking about a lot, but that is big today, that we are going hard on the DHS Chad. And by the way, he's definitely a weeb. He's definitely a gamer, but he's an absolute Chad with social media and what he's been doing. And because of this, it puts them in a weird spot, because that video, I have to look at the views right now, but that video, I think, is clocking like 20 million at this point. It's really ripping at this point. Let me see here how much this is going down. So it's already 30 million. Wow. So this video has gone viral. I would say beyond viral. And it's absolutely great. By the way, shout out to Veggie Han Repton and Links, all those people over there, my locals. Appreciate all y'all as well. Mr. Brad Oxum says, hot take, Pokemon is Nintendo's COD, and it's been the same game for 30 years. That's what they're going on. So what my kind of theory is here is that Nintendo has been grifting on this for the past decades, and they've been grifting off of the die-hard fans. They've pushed away the casuals. They pushed away a lot of the new players. They pushed away people that have a sense of morality. And they're really saying, okay, we're going to focus on only the die-hard, will never abandon us fans. And we're going to jack up the prices to astronomical levels because we can. And that is a dying business model. If you do that, you will eventually lose. John Magus for 10 says, if Nintendo can make good and innovative games, they wouldn't be suing Better Games. Thank you for saying something, brother. My pleasure. Once again, this is exactly right. If they focused on fixing their own games, we wouldn't be in this position. Let's look at a couple memes here too, because the memes are magic, and we got to get through some of the memes. Okay. This is fun. We will never release Pokemon on PC and other platforms. Pocket Pair. Then we will make a game like Pokemon, but better. Nintendo. They just literally cannot resist. Let's go. We got some more here. Every masterpiece has a cheap copy. And then we've got patents. Got to catch them all. I like this one. This one's good. I may be sued for just even showing this font, but yes. And then we've got, hey, my game is similar to yours. Let's call them Souls-like for Demon Souls, Neo. Hey, my game is similar to yours. Let's call them auto shooters. Got Vampire Survivors. And Pal World, hey, my game is Nintendo. They just cannot stand it. Once again, they could have been collaborating. They could have been printing money, but instead they've chosen the bad path. And I'm trying to get people on the good path. Once again, as a corporate attorney, I'm not just going to talk about the law. I'm going to talk about business today. And I'm going to talk about what makes business sense. And I'm going to talk about marketing strategy. I've been in on these meetings. I've studied marketing. I know exactly what's going on here and where they're screwing up. And whoever's telling them to do this is absolutely delusional. Whatever law firm or whatever mentality or whatever scarcity mindset is leading them, they need to be led down the path of abundance. And maybe this shit works in Japan, and I'm going to put some money in the swear jar for this, but this is not going to work with a global audience. And if you want to be a global brand with a global audience, you cannot think like this. It simply will not work. Did you see the new game Palfarm? Yes. They're already sending a new FU to Pokemon. It looks so much better than Pokemon's new game. But guess what? Palfarm will be shut down if Nintendo gets its way. If Nintendo gets its way, Palfarm and anything even sort of similar is going to be shut down by Nintendo because we can't have nice things. Nintendo will not allow us to have nice things. Dactyl gifted 50 Legal Mindset memberships, gigabits. Yes. Thank you. A little bit of lag here today. I don't know. Maybe it's the typhoon out there. I don't know what's going on. Gamer Crown says Pokemon has been a boring game in the last 20 years. Listen, I cannot say whether or not I own a bunch of, or I not own, I possess Pokemon emulators. Maybe I may or may not have played Pokemon Ultraviolet within the last 8 months. That may or may not have happened. But fact of the matter is, many people, perhaps myself included, would rather play a cost-free emulator of an old Pokemon game than give that corporation money for some new game that's garbage. Brian Kim says, our Nintendo died and left with Iwata and Reggie. Can a patent be revoked? And what would it take? Yes, it can. It could be challenged in court and it could be revoked. And that's what they're absolutely afraid of. They are very afraid of that. I'm going to get into that when we get to that section. Let's see here. 999 says, Forever Menu Dreamer says, haha, I didn't know I was in a toxic relationship with an attorney. It is very toxic in here, but it's the good type of toxic. It's a toxic that you fight it at first, but you learn to like the PP. You always are. And by the way, I don't want to tease you guys because I'm not a tease. I follow through. We indeed have a PP today, and it is a spicy PP. Oh boy, it's a good PP. You're going to enjoy this PP for all 45 minutes to an hour, which maybe, I mean, that's the perfect length. More than that, you start to get a little tired. We all get tired. Less than that, I mean, you're not satisfied, right? 45 minutes to an hour, we can all say we enjoy that level of PP. Wargrass is a new member. Thank you. Sigrid Eternia. What's irritating is seeing people defend Nintendo on any grounds, even going so far as to say Palworld is a ripoff of Pokemon while admitting in the same breath they never played Palworld. This is exactly what happens with Nintendo stands. And this is what happens with a lot of stands. A lot of people, they just go based on what the party line is. And this doesn't apply just to Pokemon. I get emails all the time, whether it's talking about legal topics, all sorts of legal topics, from Johnny Somali to Ethan Klein to whatever else I cover on this channel. And a lot of times these emails show me that they have not considered the other side. And what I try to give you on my channel is a balanced approach that gives you both sides. And I am going to bring up some points on Pokemon's side. But what I'm going to say is I understand Pokemon's concerns. For example, they don't want to dilute their brand. They don't want to say, hey, we're going to just let anybody use our brand. I get that. I understand that. And there are points at which, let's say that people are out there doing Roblox things with Pokemon. And when you guys know, if you watch my Roblox episode, what Roblox things mean, right? They're having Pikachu do, Diddy parties and stuff. Yeah, then you could go out there and protect your brand, right? I think that would be important for you to go out there and stop that, right? That'd be something that we can all say, yeah, you know what? Maybe we don't want Pikachu turning into Jeffrey Epstein, right? That would be fine. But when you're looking at a game like Palworld, when you're looking at a game like Palfarm, what that will do, and I'm going to explain this later with the double marketing effect, or what's often called the Armageddon deep impact effect. When you have two similar games, it ends up promoting both games more because people want to buy games in that genre. Think about cozy games, right? Like Stardew Valley, that inspired so many other indie devs in that same space to have just a an area to go. Think about, we got Brandon, the anime guy here. Think about anime. Isekai, right? If you like isekai, you have an entire genre of stuff. Imagine if an isekai, we'll pick any isekai, Mushoku Tensei, just because I want jobless reincarnation. I'm just picking one out of a hat, right? Imagine if jobless reincarnation tried to shut down the entire isekai genre, right? That would be ridiculous. That would be horrible, right? And people would laugh at that. That's what Nintendo is trying to do with Pocket Monsters. And not just that, but summoning sub-characters. It's ridiculous. Circadian Izzy, welcome as a member for 5 months. Appreciate you. Michael Peterson for 100 Swedish Krona says, patent laws must be updated. I agree. Nothing that can be done for real should be patentable. Calling a friend on the phone to come over is to summon a sub-character. Exactly. What the hell does that mean? You're patenting. This is the definition of a patent troll. A patent troll is usually a bad faith company that files a broad patent in order to extract money from anybody who wants to do anything like that. Nintendo is now engaging officially in US patent trolling, and they should be held accountable for that. And they should be held to the fire for that. And I think they should be challenged on that because they should not be allowed to do these things. Now, did they file it legally? Did they do all the technical steps? Yes, but I don't think they want a US court to look at it because I think a US court is going to say, hey, wait a minute. There's a lot of American companies that are going to be stifled here. Dactyl says, as a Chicago lawyer, I just don't understand how the U.S. Patent Office didn't take into account that this mechanic has been used in so many other games, even pre-Pokemon. Exactly. Digimon, right? It's been used for years. I think the thing is, and Dactyl, I don't know if you have any government experience. I do. I've worked in the government, and I've talked with a lot of government people. And if you're a government person out there in the chat, if you've been in a government worker, or maybe your partner or child or cousin or uncle works in the government, you will know what I'm saying. Government people, the one thing I can say about them is they do not like to rock the boat. So if you've paid the fee and you tick all the boxes, they just like to check the box. So what often happens is that these government workers don't want to speak up. They're like, well, it's another Nintendo patent. Let's just check the box and stamp it because they give us a bunch of money. We need government workers right now to be cleaned up. We need government workers that are actually doing the due diligence and actually looking hard at these things and taking into consideration stuff like entire genres, right? Stuff like fair use, stuff like, but even beyond fair use. So that's more of a defense. But stuff like, hey, what is this really doing? Are they understanding what this is doing? Because I don't think they're really understanding it. Maybe they're not getting it. Maybe they're just, it's a generational thing. Who knows? Branky said, won't this affect the gacha space? Yes, it could affect a lot of spaces. Exactly, the gacha space, right? Summoning sub-characters. So like when you're playing GFL, Girls Frontline, or whatever else, right? I'm not a huge gacha person. I'm going to have to call on Tectone. We're going to have to get Tectone on this one, right? Where's Tectone at? He said he quit gacha, but Tectone is like he's like the Brokeback Mountain of gacha. He cannot quit gacha. I just can't quit you gacha. But yes, all the gacha games are technically your main character summoning sub-characters. So was Nintendo going to sue all the gacha space? Because that's what they're claiming. Who the hell allowed this? Right? Is there anything John Q. Public can do to counter the patent of summoning a sub-character? Once again, we need to bring it to attention. And frankly, if there's any way that we can help challenge this, or let they try to bring this against Pal World, whatever else, we could support those companies, give visibility to those companies, give money and support to those companies that are fighting Nintendo. Because make no mistake, Nintendo uses the big corporate legal tactic, the same as Disney, Amazon, many other big companies. They try to crush you in litigation with money. There's a story. Nintendo tried to crush a Costa Rican supermarket called Super Mario because it's a supermarket and the guy's name is Mario, a quite common name in Latin-speaking countries. I'm not kidding. Now, they lost that lawsuit, but the point was to bankrupt them. The point is it's an evil tactic. And the point is to literally bankrupt your opponent. It is disgusting. It is immoral. And once again, it makes them look like the worst of villains. It's the worst PR ever. Yes, this happened. Someone's like, wait, what? No, really, this happened. I'm not kidding. This is real. People don't know about the scope at which Nintendo will go to crack down on people. It's insane. Wildfire for 10 says, will you summon spells in Final Fantasy? That's what I'm saying. Is it Ifrit? Is Shiva illegal? Because listen, If I have to delete all that fan work of Shiva from when I was like, in Final Fantasy, I was downloading the pixel by pixel, the JPEGs of Shiva back in the 2000s. There may be a lot of hard drive space I have to delete. I'm just saying. Captain Yan Yan, member for 8 months, says D&D is one of the first. Exactly. So is D&D going to come in and say, wait a second, we want to protect summoning here. So what the hell are you doing? All these other companies can speak up. They can say, wait a second, we don't want you to do this. And I think you should bring it to the attention of these other companies. Like, hey guys, do you know that Pokemon filed this US patent trying to pull this BS? Nanasha 123 said, seems like this would be an obvious case of being anticipated by prior art. Exactly. Only a matter of time until someone petitions to invalidate. Exactly. And they should. Stephen Miller says, please let Pokemon sue the government. Seeing Pokemon get their ass slapped will be so funny. And once again, you cannot outprint money of the government. If the government does one thing right, it prints money. DeBob says, Chef Mario here. That Mario lawyer at Katsucon was passing around hilarious chat GPT cease and desist. You will get sued so hard a blue shell looks like fun. I saw that. That was based. Gin Blades, what's up, buddy? For 15 Norwegian Krona. Started early and didn't scuff the intro. Will color be surprised? I can't take this excitement, Mr. Lawyer, man. Well, welcome. And thank you guys all. We're almost to the goal already. Appreciate that. 6 out of 10 to the goal. Thank you. Natasha says they're going to summon Microsoft. Do not say that name. If you say that name, Pirate Software will show up. And I do not need him in my chat. I do not need Thor in my chat here. Because, he's just going to kill the whole guild. It's going to be bad. Prince of Petty for 5 says, Nintendo itself is evil. Pokemon has DLC before it even releases, making it 100 or so a game. Final Fantasy summons sub-characters. What the hell? Exactly. So this is the point. What they're doing to their fans is wrong. And the fact that the fans take this abuse, it's an abusive relationship where they are milking these poor diehard fans for every dollar, every yen, every won, every RMB they got. And it is every euro. It's not right. Mr. Paradox says it's hard to make EA or Ubisoft look good, but Nintendo found a way. Drop Rakuda for 5 says, is this about the Department of Homeland Security video used in Pokemon song and IP? If not, do you know about it? Oh, yes. Oh, do I know about it? We've got many slides on this. Stingy says, DHS response to Nintendo, check Pokemon Rule 34. Brandon said, Nintendo making EA and Ubisoft look good. That's right. Piebaker said, Nintendo is over here in shock Pikachu face as piracy for their content skyrockets. They're going to learn the Game of Thrones lesson. And by the way, piracy of Game of Thrones drove the sale of Game of Thrones merch and drove the purchase of HBO. People need to realize allowing certain things to happen, at least to a certain extent, can benefit the company in some ways. I'm not saying you have to allow everything, but allowing a legitimate game that is inspired by your product is a compliment. There's an expression. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. And to be honest, if someone goes and copies my style, for example, if somebody uses a PP, that is a PowerPoint, by the way, in case you're new to the channel. Do I go out there and try to yell at them for using a PowerPoint? No, I say, hey, I love that. That's great. I'm glad you're doing it. Let's all use it. Let's all whip out our PPs and we'll all be better for it. I'm going to get so canceled. I'm going to be canceled tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, listen, it's been nice. It's been nice knowing you guys. Now that we're canceled, I'll see you a little bit later.
Are you guys enjoying the stream today?
Let's like the video, by the way. Let's like the video as we pause to see whether we're demonetized. Poffin the Valkyrie for 750 says, Tagtendo is just angry because they lost the Animal Crossing mechanic. That's right. Invader Talk says Nintendo's the new Tim Langdell. If you know, you know. I have to look that one up. I'm not going to lie. This is like ALM versus Henry Ford. Poffin says someone just make a game that rebukes. If someone makes a game that just comes at them hard with enough money, it'll be hilarious. But I think the U.S. government did a good enough job today. Piebacker said Nintendo doesn't have the Pokeballs to sue a party that can litigate back like the U.S. government. They can only shamefully punch down on small studios. This is a shame and dishonor that crossword puzzles with numbers is for. That's right. That's right. And once again, how brave are you to pick on the little guys? How brave are you, Nintendo, to beat up on the little creators, the little companies, the little, small people instead of going after other people? By the way, Jack Troy said RP Charlie Kirk. RIP Charlie. Charlie would not support this. Absolutely would not support this. Patent trolling? No way. No way. It's not the good path. Once again, kind of, and I'll say this is a little bit off topic, but one thing after the whole everything going on with Charlie Kirk is I really want people to take the good path, right? I really do believe, and this goes deep inside me, that there is a good path and there's a bad path in life. And companies can choose to take the good path or the bad path. And I want them to take the good path. I want Nintendo to choose to be a good company. I want them to choose that. But if they're going to choose the bad path, I will dedicate myself to taking them down. Right? I'm not going to allow people, whether they're companies, individuals, etc., governments, to take the bad path. And this is a bad path. This is a horrible path. And I say it as a lawyer, as a person who's been in business, as a person who has a business, right? And as just a human being. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. Matt Larson said, never buying another Nintendo game or system. Marshall Jack Cooper said, I used my power glove when I look at peepees. Dactyl says, going to need to bring back Nintendo don't ads. It'll be like Cracker Barrel with Steak and Shake, where they brought up the fire the CEO. Imagine that. People are going to put up, imagine they do it in Japan. That'd be based, right? Anti-Nintendo ads. Wolfie says, Officer Dat, Nintendo patent needs to be investigated. Yes, it does. Chaos Smash for 5 says, is it possible you can have a face-to-face with them and tell that to cut the crap since you're a lawyer? Sorry, it's a dumb question. I mean, no, I would. If I went to Japan and they were willing to talk to me, I would just sit them down and say, what the hell are you guys doing? And why do you believe you need to do this? Because maybe this works in Japan, but if they wanted to, Nintendo could hire me. I would work for them as a consultant. I would say, hey, as a, by consultant, I mean, not for the company, but an external consultant that they hire to come in to fix their company. I would say, hey, look, here's how you fix your company. Stop this shit. Quit the Lawfare, drop it, collaborate, right? Maybe that's your settlement with Power World is you collaborate. How can you both make money? I came up with an idea just walking around my apartment. You know what they could do? They could make a Pocket Monsters convention. Imagine that. A Pocket Monsters convention. Yeah, sorry. This isn't Legal Mindset will sell it. Yes. A lawyer would be interested in money. Yes. Sorry, guys. Wow. Shocker of the day.
No. Wait.
But yeah, they can learn the error of their ways. They can go out and start some Pocket Monster convention. They can start a whole genre. They can push this out as a thing and revitalize Pokemon. Instead, they decide the bad path. Am I wrong for loving Nintendo games and Switch to? No, I'm not here to judge. Look, if you're a Nintendo fan, just listen to me. You will understand that I'm trying to save your company you love. If you're still a Nintendo fan, you're listening, understand this is not because I have some irrational hate for Nintendo. That's because what they're doing is not in the best interest of the company. And if you're a shareholder, you own stock, you own games, you love them, you want them to do the right thing. If you care about something, you want whether it's a person or a company, you want them to make the right decisions, right? If you don't care about something, you let them keep screwing up. That's being real. That's just being real, right? If you see your friend is out there and he's screwing up, let's say he's out there, going crazy on fentanyl. You don't give him more fentanyl, right? You're like, hey, buddy, maybe you should get clean. Let me help you over here, right? That's what you do. And this Lawfare is like Nintendo is going on a fent rage. Ralph J for 5 pounds says, based on another channel's reporting, it's a bit more specific. You need manual controls initially, and then the summon runs on its own. Yes, once again, there's details, but they're trying to make it as broad as possible. Okay. Mr. Paradox says, I allegedly have modded 3Ds. I don't feel bad at all. F you, Nintendo. Captain Yen Yan says, so anyways, D&D is a turn-based game with numbers 22 years earlier with summon spells. Exactly. Once again, I think they should try to take out what would happen is they're going to try to winnow down that patent, try to take away some of its power to make it super specific. So it really only applies to Pokemon. That's what a judge could do. Day Cover 99 says, gives new meaning to Nintendo's old slogan. Now you're playing with power. James said, James. I'm late. What is it about Nintendo suing over the US? Oh, watch. I'll get 2 more. We're going to continue. Big Buddhist said, did you see my super from before the stream? Nintendo has gone full evil chaotic. Now we need a lawful chaotic to stop them. Well, I see this one. Sometimes they don't come in before the stream, so I do apologize. Another other man for 5 Canadian says, wow, with hunters, warlocks, and battle pet system, with all the Microsoft money, see, WoW could come at them. Also, Final Fantasy 6 for the win. Oh, such a good game. Okay, I'll get this last one because it's 10 euros. Jean Kruger says, everything these lawsuits achieve is to split us players. We players should clearly show the corporations, not just the big N. We play and enjoy what we want. Make good games, not war. Exactly. Let's just make good games, bros. Let's just focus on the games. So let's get into it, guys. So here's what's going on. Nintendo has been arguing now against mods. They want to kill all the mods. So they're saying, hey, they're not proper games. You need to shut those down. You, Power World, need to go out there and shut down all these mods because we don't like them. We Pokemon don't like them. And the number one they're really paying attention to, I guarantee you, is Palfarm. If you guys haven't seen this, this is one of the ones. I think it's amazing. I think this is a great idea. I think this could be like the Dota. This is like Stardew Valley meets Power World. This is a fantastic freaking idea. I want to play this. This looks cute as hell. But guess what? Instead of Pokemon taking inspiration and maybe making these mods into their own game or doing their own thing with it, they're deciding to choose war. They're spending millions of dollars on lawyers, I guarantee you, and legal strategy, instead of just making a game, just focusing on making a game. Why can't you just do that? You see what people want. You see what people are doing. This sounds cute as hell. But guess what? They're going to try to nuke this. They're 100% going to try to nuke this. Even though, yeah, once again, it's Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing meets Pokemon Power World, right? But guess what? We can't have nice things. We can't have this. But one of the most fun things is what happened with the DHS. We'll get to that in a second. But let me get through the legal battles, and I'll get some of these super chats. So here's some of the legal battles and some of the law that's behind the current things going on, because I want to kind of catch you guys up first. First, the decision whether or not to mod rests with the game owner, meaning Power World, and their end user license agreement, their EULA. So when you look at a game, in their EULA, they will usually say whether they're okay with modding or not. And that is their decision. So for example, if Power World said no modding, then it's no modding. But this would be a total change of the law. This precedent that would be set by allowing Pokemon, another game, to come in and stop modding in Power World would effectively stop any attempt in any game from creating anything vaguely resembling Pokemon. So this would create a precedent where if you had any mod that even looks sort of like Pokemon, they're going to shut that down. How crazy is that? Why do people do mods? Because they love the original product. They probably bought Pokemon. They're probably like Pokemon merch. What you're doing is driving down interest in your own product. You're literally shooting yourself in the foot. You're shooting yourself in the foot. It's nuts. It's crazy. But that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. They want to stop all mods, right? So beyond that, this is the thing I just picked up on, and I'm very sorry. I want to stay on top of all topics, but guys, I spend about 6 to 8 hours of research when I'm doing a topic like this, especially if I'm switching topics. So it is very difficult for me to switch gears to like all sorts of different topics and do a bunch of dense research. But now that Nintendo has pissed me off enough, and I'm going to put some money in the swear jar for that one. Now that they've ticked me off, I'm going to be digging deeper into all this stuff, because I'm going to get more into the details. I might have some other guests on to talk about this, because this needs to be shamed strongly by everybody, because their patent that they snuck in involving summoning a sub character to fight each another. Make no mistake. I know there's some details. Someone in the chat said it. There's some details about how you control them, but make no mistake what they're trying to do here. The big picture is they are trying to control the pocket monster genre. They want to control an entire genre of games. This needs to be stopped. This must be stopped. We cannot allow them to just take over an entire genre of games. I'm sorry, we can't. We should not. Not at all. And now I will be honest with you, because you guys, look, I don't gas you up. I don't give you false hope. I don't shoot BS. We talk straight law here, and I give you the facts and I give you the numbers. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't give you percentages, okay? But Japanese courts are likely to favor Nintendo. So the case is currently in the Japanese courts with Power World, okay? So just understand, yes, it's in favor of Nintendo. I'm not saying they're necessarily going to win, but it's in their favor. However, the U.S. patent, if someone challenged it, would be brought in a U.S. court. And I believe that the U.S. Patent Office screwed up here Even though they technically were allowed to, even though it's technically a legit patent, if a judge reviews it, I think it could be tossed. I think this could be tossed like a bad salad. Let me get some of these super chats. For $10, Stephen Miller says, Anata announced their game mechanics. Yeah, that gacha game looks amazing. Are not going to have character summons. It only focuses on aesthetics. Could this be in response to Pokemon Nintendo lawsuit? Yes. That's exactly right. It could be. However, I also think they just want to make it a game where you can get all the playable characters, and gacha is just for accessories. I think that's really smart because it won't create a play to win gacha or pay to win gacha. I know Tectone is going to be crying tears over there because he can't just pay to win. He can't look down on the peasants and just pay to win with his big YouTube money. He's gonna definitely suck at that one. But that said, I've been trashing on Tectone a lot, but listen, he deserves it. The Eggman deserves it. Okay. I think that's a brilliant idea. It looks like a gacha that's fun. The music looks good. It looks like a really a gacha that people want to play. And then you can just pay money to like pimp your ride. That's fine. Natasha said this will destroy healers being able to res fallen guildies. Just a dank raven says, stay hydrated, handsome, long man. Thank you. I think you had a lot of water earlier today. Nortram says, why is this allowed? Nintendo's monopolizing the game industry. Aren't antitrust laws designed? Well, they haven't taken over the whole industry yet. But who really screwed up was the patent office, I think. A member for 17 months, Crimson Overture, says, what does this mean about IP and big companies? I'm going to talk about the, when we get into the DHS stuff and the US government stuff, I want to really get into the big picture here. So what I think is the problem is that these big companies are coming down on small people when they really need to be collaborating and working with them and loving them. The fan community is what makes a game beloved. Shrife78 says, Andrew, I'm going to wash your mouth out with soap. Grandpa Tozy. Shout out to Grandpa Tozy. Hope he's doing well. Actually, I know he is. He's a friend. A3 Big Panda says, became a new member. Thank you. Natasha said, it's like nerfing priests, OG, MC, and Eye of in World of Warcraft, right? Because that's controlling another tune. Oh, that's true. That's true. Sorry, I didn't play enough WoW. I've got to be shamed by everybody. But I probably still play better than Pirate Software. Pirate Software is going to infinitely catch strays until he course corrects. Anyways, at this point, the only Pokemon that I'll play are mods, aka ROM hacks, or replace the mods with pals. Come at me, 7.78 don't. Yeah, to be honest, I may or may not love the ROMs. I may or may not love the edits. I love them, especially when they fundamentally change the old game, but they keep the old Pokemon. It's great. My 12 Spoons with Rose says, can this affect writers who talk about summoning? Maybe not writers, just games, I think. Natasha said, Diablo necromancers must summon our corpses. King Lucha said, I play Pokemon fan games, not the official ones, and those are more fun. Those are often more fun. For a while, I really got into, this was a little short period, I got into the Nuzlocks, if you guys know what a Nuzlocke is, and a lot of those were in the ROMs or the mods because the trainers are more difficult. So you can ramp up the difficulty, but essentially it's when you can only catch the first Pokemon on each route and you have to play the whole game without dying, or if your whole team's wiped, you're over, it's game over. And if a Pokemon dies, you cannot use it again. That was actually fun. I actually did that for a while. It was fun. I managed to beat a couple games with that. Banky said, can mods in the US be argued as free speech? Not free speech, but maybe fair. There could be some fair use arguments, maybe. It's possible. But depends on their monetization strategy. We'll get into that. Freaky Frosty said, did you hear in Michigan they're trying to pass a bill to make all prawn illegal? That I did not hear, but I think Gooners are definitely going to be fighting that one. King Buck 360 said, love from Brooklyn. W Legal Mindset, thank you. Lugia 21 for 5 said, it's going to be fun until Lavender tries to raid your bedroom at night. If you know the Lord, you know. King Lugia said, Nintendo JP has no shame. Gooned out on money. That's right. Ryobi said, it's crazy Nintendo had a patent the concept of monsters battling for you like every RPG has summoning of some form. Just wait till they fight D&D. And they should never have allowed that. The U.S. Patent Office should have never have allowed that. Paul Wolf said for 5, did you know that people buy Pokemon cards as retirement investments? Could there be an element of nationalism in these lawsuits? There is. There's a little bit of the Japanese spirit invested in Nintendo. Yes, there is a little bit, a dash of that. Natasha says for 2, if you keep saying its name, you will summon it. And last, Claire Ruckman said, offsetting the swear jar. Oh, hi and curse away. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's continue here. Okay. Let's talk about the base chads at the DHS. Now, look, listen, whether or not you agree with the DHS's politics, look at that aside, right? Because I know a lot of people will say, oh, I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. Put that aside for a second. We're going to focus on the law, okay? And understand this is a meme, right? This is a meme. So, but whoever runs the DHS account is clearly a gamer. They're clearly a meme lord. Look at this. This is a post from before. Literally, I am Silky with Ash with Make America Great Again. And then Homeland Security saying, to arrest them is our real test. To deport them is our cause. This person is a Pokemon fan. This person's a Pokemon fan. So what happened? They made a video. Now, I cannot play this video. I will be copyright struck by Nintendo and their lawyers all the way to the moon. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is explain it to you. So they made a video set to the tune of Catch 'em All. Gotta catch 'em all. I gotta catch 'em all. I'm not going to sing when it's not karaoke. I am not drunk enough in a small karaoke room in Seoul, South Korea. Fan event 2027. Mindset karaoke in Korea. Anyways, they set a video to the tune of Gotta Catch 'em All. They used the font, the Pokemon font. They used some clips from Pokemon, including Pokeballs, Ash Ketchum, like lots of footage. But most of it was footage of ICE arresting people. And they also, in addition to doing this, at the very end, they made Pokemon cards. Whoever this Chad was that made this video, Senpai notices you. This person knows Pokemon because they went out there and literally took these guys' criminal rap sheet, put their names, their Pokemon type is illegal. They have 1 HP because they've been caught, right? So they're at minimum HP. They got their powers here, which are not good. Like you guys can read this one, and you guys can read this one. Sentence for 10 years, sentence for 3 years. And look at the culture. Look at the culture. What is their weakness? Do you guys catch their weakness? Their weakness is to ICE. Their weakness is to ICE. Bro. No. Wait. Wow. I mean, just absolute genius. And the card part of the video was like 3 seconds, but they put so much detail in it. I decided to, I saw it and I'm like, wait a second. And I paused and went back and I'm like, no. And look, they even put the country flag behind it, like behind their face. They put the country. This person, I mean, okay, listen, say what you will about Tylenol Americans. And yes, that's a new term for, in case you guys didn't catch the news, by the way, the announcement earlier today was that acetaminophen Tylenol may be linked to causing autism in children. That's a whole separate thing. That'll be a whole separate, we're not going to I'm not a doctor here. I'm just saying that was an announcement earlier. So Tylenol American is the politically correct way to say them, right? They're Tylenol Americans. This is quality work by a Tylenol American. This is definitely a Tylenol American, but they did a great job. I salute you, Tylenol American, who created this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. By the way, both of these criminal Pokemon die to a shed ninja. They die to a shed. Imagine dying to a shed ninja. How embarrassed would you be dying to a shed ninja? Getting swept by a 30 HP shed ninja. Embarrassing. Pathetic even. All right. Let's talk about fair use, because we'll talk about, okay, so why, by the way, why is this important? Because if Nintendo wants to sue everybody, and they really want to sue everybody because that's their strategy, then buckle up, because the US DHS ain't going to be stopping using Pokemon until you sue them to stop. In fact, I would call for that base Chad to continue to spam Pokemon themed memes until Nintendo is provoked into doing something, because that would be the most glorious thing. Now, I don't have much faith in Pam Bondi defending against this. I'm willing to step up and take this lawsuit if Pam Bondi can't handle it, because I think she might not be able to. But that said, the infinite money printer of the US against Nintendo would be so glorious. And let's talk about fair use, because that would be the defense they'd bring up. That'd be the defense they bring up. So what is fair use? I've talked about this a lot, but it's always useful for a reminder. And I like to go through these factors because I want you guys to remember them. They're also important for other cases like Ethan Klein's case against the Orbiters. By the way, for those that were following that and are following that, there may be an update because I know Casey Tron said some dumb stuff. So we may have an update. I'm probably going to have a busy next week. I've got stream topics just back to back to back. Lots of stuff. We're going to talk about fake Japanese accounts tomorrow. Lots of stuff to talk about. But anyways, this is relevant for a lot of stuff. So the first factor is purpose and character of use. The first thing is it a commercial use or non-commercial use? So is it research? Is it educational, governmental? Is it criticism? Is it art? Is it parody? What is it, right? And then the nature, which goes back into factual or creative. What is it? Next, the amount and substantiality of the work used. This goes to the Ethan Klein lawsuit, right? In the Ethan Klein lawsuit, they literally watched the whole nuke, the whole Hassan Piker content nuke, because they wanted it to be a substitute. This is, and this is where the test comes in. Is what was shown a substitute for Pokemon? And how much of Pokemon did they use? And the last thing is, what is the effect on the market? Does this harm the copyright holders market? Are they in any way going to be hurt? Is their market going to be hurt? Are they not going to be able to sell Pokemon because this thing is out there? That's the question. That's what people need to know. So let's do that analysis for the U.S. government. Let's do that analysis for the U.S. government. So what's the purpose and the character of the DHS saying they got to catch them all? Well, it's governmental. It's nonprofit. So they're not making any money off of that. It's just literally to troll. It's absolutely to troll. So they're going to lose on that one. How about the nature of the work? It's a creative parody. It's clearly funny. It's not meant to be some factual statement that the U.S. government owns Pokemon, which would be funny, though. Be funny. The amount and substantiality. They only use small pieces. They use tiny clips from Pokemon and the song. That's it. And mostly it's government footage of ICE arresting people. And the last is effect on the market. No one is going to go out and purchase ICE. Hold on. If ICE got in the market of selling ICE Pokemon cards, like ICE detainee cards, then maybe they'd have an argument. But they're not in that market. That's just for show. It's just for parody. It's just for memes, right? But otherwise, they're not selling games. They're not selling systems. Yeah, people in the chat are like, I would totally see, even my mods, like, I'd buy those, right? Right? Honestly, I would buy it. Yeah, a lot of people would buy it. I'm not going to lie. I might consider buying that. That would be wild. That would be really wild. And if they really wanted to dare Pokemon to come at them, they'd make some cards. See, I'm giving the trolls at DHS, whoever is the troll running that account, keep trolling. If you really want to troll them, make a full deck of cards that people can print out and play. Oh man, would Nintendo be so butthurt? Nintendo would be so butthurt if they made it and like actually make them playable. Yeah, like Cartel Edition or Deportee Edition, right? That would be hilarious. Wizard of the Coast would sue them because of the magic. Oh, that'd be hilarious. Also, screw Wizard of the Coast, right? Those guys are assholes too, but that's a whole separate topic. So I think they lose to the US, just straight up. Let me get some of the super chats and we got more for you. QB said this is going to be interesting. It would be like if Games Workshop sued somebody for saying God Emperor of Mankind, or including metal skeleton-shaped robots or super soldiers by claiming only they could do that. Exactly. So this is opening the door to things like that. And we don't want that. Look, listen, I want more grimdark. If someone comes out there and wants to invent something that's badass and grimdark, that's cool. Let's do it. And honestly, it's better for the whole genre. If somebody goes out there and does something and creates a Souls-like game, all Souls-like games sell more because people want to get in the genre. And that's just the marketing principle, which I'm going to explain in a second. And that's part of where being a business lawyer helps me, because a lot of lawyers, they don't know business and they've never been in a successful business or a very profitable business. I'm very fortunate to have worked with very profitable companies, both Universal Studios, which one I can disclose, as well as other very profitable Fortune 500 companies, where I talk to the marketing and sales team. I see what they're doing. And what they're doing is collaborating, right? What they're doing is working with other successful people. That's what's called an abundance mindset. Everybody can make money. Let's all make money together. Let's do different things in the market. And let's all make money. Let's all profit together. We can all win. Like YouTubers. YouTubers can all win because they're all different, right? And sometimes when people are really liking a topic, for example, Johnny Somali, they'll watch all the videos on all the big channels in Johnny Somali. It doesn't need to just be one person. It's not a scarcity ecosystem where people only play one game. That's not true. In fact, right now, there's so few good games that if you just focus on making good games, people will buy them in droves. In droves. Chaos Smash says, DHS smug smile, Pokemon Anakin scene. I hate you. Wildfire says, I hope a proxy company comes and makes an actual card to buy them. That'd be funny. Spartan says, a Pokemon where you collect illegals would be gold. I'm saying people will do it. Jack Choi says, just make a deck of 42 DHS most wanted. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like the most wanted cards they put out when they went into Iraq, right? And they had like Saddam Hussein and everybody else. For the old people, I know Gen Z, you're not going to get that reference. You don't even know who Saddam Hussein is. Don't worry about it. It's old people stuff. But millennials, X, boomers, we know what we're talking about with that stuff. Ryobi said, actually, who's more litigious, Nintendo or Games Workshop? Because both have shut down anyone. Side note, I'm no heretic. I stand for the God, Emperor of mankind. I'm no heretic either. I will purge the unbelievers. But that said, I think Nintendo wins. When you're suing Costa Rican supermarkets called Super Mario, you've kind of hit a new low, ethically. Dante, not available for 10 says, I wonder if the federal government has consented to be sued for patent infringement. I remember there was a case saying you can't sue the government for copyright infringement a few years ago. They don't have full protection, but it's not going to go well. They're going to lose this one. I guarantee you. Norbert Frolik for 10 euros says, Guten Tag, Uncle Mindset. You have a little something for the swear jar. I have to wash my ears from the stream. Gruß aus Deutschland. Prost to my Deutsch brothers and sisters, whether you're in Deutschland, the Schweiz, or Österreich. Hope you are doing well. Viele Gruß, and take care of yourselves out there. Big Buddhist said the name of the card game, Poker Prison. Poker Prison. How about Deportables? Okay, I got to put myself in timeout for Deportables.
No. Wait.
Plotty said, I still have my Operation Desert Storm B-ball cards. There we go. Cheetah Duck for $4.99 says, I'll always see those companies on Instagram that will make your pet into a Pokemon card. Do the companies just die? If Nintendo would sue them if they got big enough. The thing with a lot of these companies is they're so small, they fly under the radar for a while. But once they get big enough, Pokemon decides to sue them because they just have this small PP energy, right? They haven't learned the girthy PP, right? The girthy PP like we have on the Legal Mindset, right? We've got very substantial, loving PPs that everybody can use, right? And learn from. They need to learn from the wisdom of sharing it with everybody. Prince of Petty says, I would totally buy a Naruto-based spell. That'd be awesome. Once again, think about the collaborations. This is a great idea. That'd be awesome. Matt Lars said, PokeCon. Got to jail them all. Oh, man. What do you call it? Like the Cinnabar Alcatraz? Instead of alligator Alcatraz, it's like Cinnabar Alcatraz. I love it. Pie Baker said, don't tell Nin. They'll just lose them. They lose. Tell them they'd win. That's right. You're going to win, Nintendo. Hey, Nintendo, sue. You're going to do great. Gamercrom says, just watch GHS clip. Effing hilarious. It is hilarious. I wish I could play it. I would get kicked off of YouTube in 2 seconds. But let's talk about what they should be doing, okay? What they should be doing is the Armageddon Deep Impact effect. If you are old enough to remember this, you remember these movies. Now, honestly, there's a huge debate which one's better. I think this is a matter of taste, right? One of them had a much bigger budget, but one of them was actually really, really good. And I actually like the story on one of them a little bit better. But that said, these movies came out at about the same time and they benefited. They both made more money based on their own, based on the double marketing. Someone says they suck in the chat. You should ban them. Danielle, just ban them. I'm joking. Don't ban them. You're allowed to have the point. The point is, even if you both think they're crap, many movies that do this, games that do this, other things that do this, right? These quote unquote copycat movies, it actually works in their favor by coming out at the same time, by pushing things at the same time. Think about zombie movies, right? World War Z, 28 Days Later, Dawn of the Dead, right? Remember when zombie movies, big superhero movies, right? That trended for a while. When that's trending, all the movies in that genre do better. It doesn't matter if one of them is better than the other. They all do better than they would independently. So they have to shift their thinking to this mindset of Power World and Pokemon are better off with each other than they are apart. Yeah, Western's another great example, right? Whenever a genre is doing well, you milk the genre. You go for the genre. And this is a proven marketing strategy. It boosts both products. There's shared hype. People get excited for both. It creates cultural conversation. So remember when zombie movies came out, everyone would ask, what'd you do in a zombie apocalypse? Would you survive? Who would die? What would happen? What will you do? Right? It creates a bigger conversation, a buzz about that. Like Pocket Monsters, right? You say, hey, what's your perfect team? What's your ideal setup? Like, what's the most broken strategy? Like, what do you do? Right? These are all the isekai, talking about anime. Like, what would you do if you're isekai into this world, et cetera, right? It creates a broader conversation. Yeah, Halo and Call of Duty. It's a great point. Great point. There's strategic differentiation. So Nintendo has this small PP energy because they don't understand strategic differentiation. Strategic differentiation means each game fills a different niche. So Pokemon and Power World, for example, have two completely different audiences. So Pokemon, and I know some of you people out there are gonna, push back on this, but hear me out. Pokemon is intended, once again, it's intended, Tylenol Americans, for younger audiences. Okay. Now I know many adults play it. I get it. But the intention is for younger audiences, to be very simple and easy for younger audiences. Power World is older. It's more mature. It has guns. Power World has guns. Power World, you really have to debate the concept of slavery in Power World. Like, hey, man, we talk about the ethics of enslaving these pals? Can we talk about that real quick? Because we might have to have a deeper cultural conversation on like the ethical bounds of owning pals, right? But it's definitely for a more mature audience. And by the way, most of my audience, most of you guys today said you would play Power World. 48%. 36% said you'd play both, right? And it increases visibility. People are more interested in the genre. People might want to go to Pocket Monster Convention. And people can debate which is better, right? It's sort of like what's better, Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, right? Or Wheel of Time. You get to debate. It's like, hey, go. What's better, Star Trek or Star Wars? These debates, these nerdy, geeky debates are what fuels fan communities, are what makes people awesome. It powers people up. That competition, that rivalry, that is a good thing. It's an amazing thing. If you've ever been to any convention ever, which as a weeb, as a nerd, I definitely have, that is what powers people, right? Shonen, shonen haters versus shonen lovers, right? That's what everything is about. That's the good stuff. Right? This is what you want as a company. Who the hell is telling you you don't want this? They don't understand the broader market. Maybe this worked in Japan, but this doesn't work with the broader global market. Also, Hika gifting 5 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much. Yes. If you received a gift membership today, please say thank you to those people, because it's because of their kind memberships that people can get those. And we're going to do a member stream. I've actually got a lot of content. There's actually some stuff we might be able to do a watch along. So I've got some ideas for the next member stream. We may do a watch along of the real Johnny Somali documentary. It's actually about not just Johnny Somali, but it's got Ice Poseidon in there, a lot of the nuisance streamers. So we may do a watch along of that, a preview of that. As well as we may do some other meme content, fun content. So if you want access to that, make sure you're a member. If you've gotten one of those, even through a gift membership, you'll have access to that. It's a little bit more unstructured, comfortable. It's cozy. It's a little bit different. So it's a real unique experience. If you're not a member, you'll enjoy it. So just throwing that out there, a little self promo, which I'm horrible at. But we're going to have to do more of it on this channel. We're going to have to promote this channel a little bit more. I know. James for 5 says I should play a Final Fantasy game before Nintendo sues Square. Once again, they might. Who knows? If they're not stopped, if Nintendo is not stopped, they will keep going. It's like Hassan Piker, right? If you don't stop these people, they're just going to get more extreme. Nintendo is just going to be, they're being rewarded for bad behavior. And we cannot continue to let Nintendo get away with it. It's like Sam Hyde. We can't let him get away with it again. Leprechaun Gold, thank you for the 20. Appreciate that. Ricardo Fung for 19.99 says Mr. Iwata, former Nintendo CEO, RIP 2015, said, in his heart, he's a gamer, a true one. Started feeling Nintendo's public downfall after CEO Furukawa took power. One was a programmer, one was a pure businessman. Now I see the difference. There's a huge difference. A gamer will always go back to the love of the game. And it is a sad moment when the business people who don't really deeply understand the gaming business take over. They destroy it. Nort Ram for ISD 300 says, Games Workshop may be douches, but they are more fan-friendly. It's true. There are numerous fan-made Warhammer films, and one of the guys who made it was hired by Games Workshop. That's awesome. Pie Baker for 5 says there's only one return, and it's not Return of the King. It's Return of the Jedi. Okay. Now, if we're talking about which is better, that's really hard. I'm shifting. Oh, man. I like LOTR. Return of the Jedi is really good, though. That's a hard choice. That's a hard choice. If it's Twin Towers or Empire, I pick Empire. But if it's Return of the King or Return of the Jedi, I don't know. I'm going to give it to LOTR. MRMC 2003. Pokemon with the one with the towel on in the hot spring. What episode of Pokemon are you watching? Lapping. Said Monster Rancher has slave abuse control conversation. Loved it. Exactly. Monster Rancher is based. Members only stream game night once I upgrade my PC. So I do need to upgrade my PC. That's one of the things I might toss in the Ko-Fi. But actually, before that, I need a researcher to help me with researching some of the stuff. That's my next one. If you guys want to go over to the Ko-Fi and help me get some research assistance, because I desperately need some research assistance. You can go over to the Ko-Fi/Andrew Esquire and pitch in for a brother to get some research assistance. But after that, my main laptop, which I wanted to replace with a new system, it's been really wonky. I've got a travel one, which I made it to substitute in for the moment, but that's another investment that's going to happen very, very soon. But yeah, Platy for 10. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Asha said we're behind in Weave streams. That's members only content. Archlord Dunerider said Monolith/WB patented the Nemesis system for Shadows of Mordor, where the enemy boss started tracking you, learning you, and becoming your nemesis. That's cool. The patent still stifled all competition, even though they didn't use it again. That is a problem. And because that's a really cool mechanic. It's a super cool mechanic. Unhinged Valkyrie for 10 legal minds and memberships. Thank you.
Yes.
Ryobi says, imagine patenting the concept of waifus that will quickly be hotly debated and anti-competitive because it's already placed a bet on Rima to be the best girl. No, she's the hag horse girl will never win. She'll never win the Derby. By the way, I've got a nice meme for you guys here. This is fresh from my locals, so I have to share this because this is very, very good. I love this meme. It's meme magic. And this pretty much explains the Nintendo situation and Nintendo fans. Pokemon fans really white knighting milady Nintendo today. Leave the multi-billion-dollar corporation alone. Ah! Yeah, this is who you are if you are still defending Nintendo in this. Absolutely devastated. Okay, hold on. Who did this? Hold on. Who the hell just did this? Hold on. Oh, what the hell? Oh, what the hell just happened? Something happened courtesy of my locals. Okay, hold on.
What the fuck?
What did you guys do here? What did you do here? Legal mindset, basic type, HP 60, lawyer Pokemon, height 6'4". That is incorrect. I'm at least 6'5.5". I'm almost 6'6". Incorrect. False information. 225 pounds. I'm tracking myself in kilos. So let's see what I'm at right now. I am at 207, actually. I'm at 207. So that is a false weight, sirs. I am not that fat. I am losing weight. I am only at 207. It's 94 kilograms in the metric. Scuff. When you start the game, you must discard all your energy cards and shuffle the back. What the hell? PP play. Electric. 9,000. I can't play the over 9,000 or I'll be hit with a copyright claim. So what can I play instead? What can I play instead?
Emotional cabbage.
Weakness to fighting. Mindset, legal mindset can stun you with his pee-pee and swear jar. Watch out for his random moments of scuff. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Now I am going to be sued by Nintendo. Thank you for bringing a Nintendo lawsuit down on me. Thank you, my locals community. Who do I call it? Veggie Han. Veggie Han. Fuck you, Veggie Han. Okay, thank you. But thanks. Okay, yeah, there you go. Thank you for that over there on locals. Very base chats. We'll be doing a locals exclusive very soon to do as well. Mr. Paradox said, would love to see you react to Don People. I cannot. If I do that, I will be banned. I might be able to do it on a members only stream, but there's no freaking way. There's no freaking way. But if you got that reference, you may notice a similarity in the thumbnail. And I may or may not find those meme videos hilarious. I may or may not find them hilarious. He's a very good guy, very smart guy, making good work. James gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you. Yes. And let me make sure I've got a final speech for Nintendo, but we'll get some super chats. We'll get final speech for Nintendo. Corinne's Workshop says, "Oh no." Anyways, more reason to stick it to mod friendly indie games like RimWorld. 120 mod list. Go brr. Marshall J. Cooper said there's an unlicensed Pokemon Gooner game on the NES. I'm not surprised, but also look, if Nintendo comes after you for something like that, I don't blame them, because I don't blame a company for not wanting their brand to be associated with that, because that can go to larger brand damage. Look, if your game is for kids, there's something about like when somebody takes a kid's game and they pervert it, it's kind of like Roblox. Like I kind of feels a little bit wrong, right, to do that. And once again, I know there's all these, freedom arguments, etc. But I mean, can we stick to adults can do adult stuff? I'm all for you guys doing adult stuff, but maybe don't use kid games as a vehicle. Just my thought there. Sigrun, attorney, has said for 5. The card says you're electric type. Basic just means that we can play you directly from the hand without evolving from a card already in play. Oh, that's true. That's true. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hold on. I'm very, very sorry about that. Base Chads out there knowing exactly what the cards mean. Do I have the feeling I've got?
Oh, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Wait.
I blew out all your eardrums. So I'm sorry for blowing out all your eardrums with Philly in there, but I'm so sorry. All right, Jackie Choi said, I'll represent you in a case versus Pokemon. Thank you. QB said, my dono to Legal Mindset GoFundMe legal defense versus Nintendo. I'm going to need to start a GoFundMe really quickly. Jack Choi said, qualifications. I'm a professional mindset. Thank you. All right. Let's talk about my kind of little speech here at the end here. Just like with my stream on Somali. And this is a little bit in honor of good old Charlie Kirk. You can choose the good path or the bad path, right? So Nintendo. Do you want to be a Mario or a Toad or a Luigi? Do you want to be the good character? Or do you want to be the bad character? Do you want to be a Bowser? Do you want to be the King Boo? Do you want to be a Goomba? Right? Wario? Waluigi? Or do you want to be the good guy? You can choose. Right now, Nintendo, the good path is to drop this law, stop this lawfare BS, find a way to settle with Pal World, collaborate, promote the entire genre of pocket monsters, bring it back to glory. Give up your and I know people are going to hate your kamikaze quest to destroy your company's reputation, to absolutely tank it. It is not good. It's not going to work. And you're going to doom yourself. Yes, you may win. But what does that win you? It wins you nothing. It wins you your fans turning against you, destroying your product, destroying your IP. You will become Star Wars. Do you want to become Star Wars? Do you really want to become Star Wars? Don't do this. Don't become the villain. Become the hero. And look, you can sometimes be the Donkey Kong too. Maybe you can sometimes come in and screw shit up, but don't be evil. Right now, you've gone from Donkey Kong to pure evil. right? I mean, you can sometimes toss a barrel or two. No one's going to give you any smack for tossing a lawsuit out here and there. But this is too much. This is far too much. You've gone too far. It's clear. I pray that this clip, because I know this will be clipped, right, will get to somebody who's in Nintendo who can pass this along and know that my criticisms are coming from a genuine place of wanting your business to be better. This is not someone who wants to be your hater. I want to be a Nintendo fan. I want to be a Nintendo fan. But what is preventing me from being a Nintendo fan is Nintendo. They are their own worst enemy. The strategy of Lawfare, even if you win, is tanking your company. Stop. In the eyes of the global audience, and certainly in the eyes of a humble Florida lawyer living in Asia, you're doing the wrong thing. Choose to do the right thing. We all do it every day, and companies can choose to do it every day. Don't be evil. Don't be evil. Drop the Lawfare. Because if you don't, you will be stopped. You will be stopped. Either by business, by the court, or by the people who suddenly stop caring about you. Suddenly stops caring about you. That's my speech. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's get these super chats. Virtually says, seems like they put in a patent tied to shooters on the U.S. Patent Office on the 18th this month. Yes, exactly. Yes, they've been sneaking in patents still. Mr. Paradox says, leave the $1 million collaboration alone. It's like the Sig Sauer P320 defenders all over again. That's right. That's right. Always defending my corporation. The corporation can do it for themselves, right? They can protect themselves. The only person that can protect you is you. And the best weapon is a legal mindset, right? The best weapon is being able to decide for yourselves, to look at these corporations and be armed with the knowledge to be able to evaluate them fairly and say, what are they doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing? Guys, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. You're going to be redirected to my fast facts. Stay there, like that video, spread that word, share it out. We need to get this message out. So go and like that video, the fast facts, get it out there, share it on social media, clip it, send it everywhere. I want this to get out so things happen. Thank you. I'll get Hugashaka says, Nintendo going full Bowser, happily cheered on by Chibi Doki. All right, guys, stay based and don't.
You are coping the ceiling. You just can't believe what you're seeing. Yes, you're coping the ceiling. The truth it is all day, and now you are more.